Welcome back, fans. Some fuckboys just cannot live without you. No content to speak of until you come out with videos and then they can respond to you. It's funny, right? This guy went out of his way to get my channel closed, yet here he is commenting on a guy who has less than 100 subscribers on his channel. He's following a guy who has less than 100 subscribers on his channel and is living on my every word. He's calling me biased because apparently I should be critical of Tim Tszyu and not the PBC, because Tim Tszyu is going to be scheduled in the PBC's first pay-per-view card on Amazon. Okay, so that's the situation. Yet today I also made videos being critical of the PBC for their supposed fight with Canelo Alvarez and Charlo. I didn't hate on Charlo or Canelo. I criticized the PBC because they're giving us a fight that nobody fucking wants. Saying that the fights we do want is obviously Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez. And since this is part of the PBC and what they're giving us, then we need to hold them accountable. Sure, we can highlight the fighters, but in all these cases, I'm not being critical of the fighters. Whether it's a white Australian like Tim Tszyu, or a Mexican Latino fighter like Canelo Alvarez, or a black American like Tank Davis. Because I also released a video today going in on Tank Davis's team. And the bad look they've consistently put on Tank Davis from back in the day when Floyd Mayweather ducked Lomachenko, to currently them coming out to say that they will never put Tank Davis in a fight with Shakur Stevenson, to Floyd Mayweather coming out and saying that Devin Haney and Shakur should fight each other because they won't be getting fights with Tank Davis. I didn't hate on Tank Davis. I hated on his team for the negativity they're putting on their fighter because of these things they consistently say to the media. So here's 3 examples of 3 fighters. 1 black American, 1 white Australian, 1 Mexican Latino fighter. Yet, in all 3 cases, I'm being consistent. I wasn't critical of the fighters. I was critical of their teams and the fights they're putting them in. So who's being biased? Not me. Because here's 3 examples of me saying the exact same thing to 3 fighters that look completely different. Their nationality, their skin color, their sexual preference, their preference of ice cream. None of this shit fucking means anything. I don't care. What I was commenting on is the teams that are around these fighters and the horrible moves that they're doing to make their fighters look bad. And it just so happens that in all 3 cases, these fighters are all part of the PBC. Is this me hating on the PBC? When I show 3 examples of 3 completely different fighters who are being made to look bad based on the decisions they're being put into because of the relationship with the PBC? Or is this just reality, truth? I mean, you know, even he thinks this is a garbage fight. He said it in his video. I don't want to look at the picture because he's going to copyright me. Not that that means anything. How do you copyright me now when I'm not monetized? You can't shut down my channel, can you, now? And if you can, okay, what does that mean? I have 100 subscribers. I'm sure fucking I could open my channel next week and get 100 subscribers in a week as well. So that ain't gonna fucking matter. Now you have no power, no leverage at all. None. None whatsoever. But yet you're still fucking stalking me, dick riding my material. Yet you'll say somehow I'm stalking you. You haven't released videos in fucking days. I've released videos every day, constantly, since my channel went down. And consistently boxing related. Even the videos I put out regarding Tank Davis, Canelo Alvarez, and Tim Tszyu today. Completely different fighters, different weight classes, all different scenarios. And the one similarity is I don't want to see Tim Tszyu fight fucking Keith Thurman. I don't want to see Canelo Alvarez fight Charlo. And I don't want to see fucking Tank Davis fight another fucking no-hoper. Right? That's the only fucking crux of what I'm trying to push on my channel. Unlike you, who is only trying to push racial narratives.
He left Tim Tszyu out and put all the criticism on the PBC for the fight between Tim Tszyu and Keith Thomas Thurman.
Yeah, because the truth is, why would I blame Tim Tszyu? We've seen Tim Tszyu is literally willing to fight everyone. He was supposed to be fighting Charlo. It's not his fault he's not fighting Charlo. Charlo's the one that went up multiple weight divisions to get a cash payment to fight Canelo Alvarez, only to look like shit and look totally disinterested. It's not Tim Tszyu's fault. Tim Tszyu literally fought every fucking fighter the PBC put in his path. Multiple fighters who people like you and others predicted would beat Tim Tszyu. Whether it was Mendoza, Harrison, or that Olympian, I can't remember his name. And now you tried to put Lubin in, as if I'm afraid of fucking Tim Tszyu fighting Lubin. Lubin, who every time you touch his chin is gonna fucking get knocked out. But I know you support him because he's black. Look at this picture. Who do you support more? Of course, the darker guy, right? That's who you support. You know, not based on him being better than anyone, because out of these three fighters, he is by and far the shittiest, right? But you're so invested in him because of his skin color, and only because of his skin color, that you're going to make this a race thing. No one hated on the concept of Tim Tszyu fighting fucking Erickson Lubin. No one ran away from it. No one downplayed it. No one acted like it wasn't going to happen. We all expected it was going to happen. God only knows where fucking Keith Thurman came from. But you know why Keith Thurman is getting the fight and not Lubin? Because of Al Haymon and the PBC. Not because of Tim Tszyu. The PBC wants to do a pay-per-view in their first fight on Amazon. A fighter that was going to fight in this date was Tim Tszyu. Looking for an opponent. The best opponent they could put him in with, who would get pay-per-view recognition, was Keith Thurman. So hence, here's Keith Thurman. They knew that if they put Tim Tszyu versus Erickson Lubin, that shit wouldn't be fucking pay-per-view. No one would pay for it. No one knows who Lubin is. No one cares. Lubin arguably lost his last fight to fucking Jesus Ramos and was lucky that he was gifted a victory in a fight most people felt he lost. So nobody's afraid of the fight. No one's taking a chance away from him. The only legitimate fighter in this picture is Tim Tszyu, the undefeated world champion. Yes, he won his title like Boots Ennis, an email title. But in both of their cases, they both, well, not both of their cases. In Tim Tszyu's case, he literally was chasing the champion, doing what he had to do to get the fight. Boots ran away from the WBO to go chase the IBF, where Errol Spence was the champion, not fucking Bud Crawford. And when he was offered a Bud Crawford fight in December, he turned it down, only to be interested in it now, right? Tim Tszyu did everything he had to do to get a Charlo fight. And now he's taking on Keith Thurman, unfortunately.
I thought that Tim Tszyu was supposed to fight Erickson Lubin. That was the fight that I was looking forward to.
Of course you were.
You see, the anti-black boxing fan can care less about Erickson Lubin. And I know you guys want to talk.
Listen, see, somehow it's us caring less about Erickson Lubin. We're not the ones making this decision. I just told you why Erickson Lubin's not getting the fight. It's because of the black promoter who doesn't think that fucking dark-skinned Erickson Lubin can sell a pay-per-view with Tim Tszyu. So he's been pushed to the side to allow fucking Keith Thurman, the fucking light-skinned, old-ass motherfucker who's been inactive, to get the fight. Has nothing to do with me as a boxing fan. Has everything to do with the PBC. But you won't hold Al Haymon and the PBC accountable. You will deflect and make it seem like it's my fault. It's my fault Erickson Lubin isn't getting the fight. I wish I had that much power.
About Erickson Lubin having 2 losses. But, you know, when you fight the best fighters consistently, you're going to wind up losing a fight. You know, not everybody's Floyd Mayweather.
Oh my God, fighting the best fighters. I mean, what did Erickson Lubin do after he fought Charlo? He basically disappeared from the sport and fought a bunch of nobodies, cans, for years. Years. Until he finally got a new opportunity to fight a top fighter, and then got knocked out again by Funduro. And then he did bounce back quickly into a Jesus Ramos fight. But he was supposed to just be a stepping stone. Jesus Ramos was supposed to be using him the same way Charlo and Funduro used him, as a name on their resume. Jesus Ramos dropped the fucking ball. And that's what allowed Erickson Lubin to still stay relevant. Nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the PBC and Al Haymon and the way they're treating him.
Erickson Lubin fought Jermell Charlo. They fought Sebastian Fundora. You know, those 2 guys were considered the top fighters at the junior middleweight division. And Erickson Lubin.
Fundora was considered a top fighter. Isn't he a guy who got knocked the fuck out by Mendoza? The same Mendoza that Tim Tszyu knocked out? When did he become a top fighter? Who did he beat in the process outside of Erickson fucking Lubin?
Erickson Lubin faced them both. And then he fought Jesus Ramos, a guy that was on the come up, a very big junior middleweight. You see, the anti-black boxing fan was actually hoping that Jesus Ramos were to have knocked out Erickson Lubin. He was
See, how do you make a video about Tim Tszyu, Keith Thurman, and the PBC making this garbage fight into a race video? Leave it to John. Because Al Haymon and the PBC were hoping that Jesus Ramos would beat fucking Erickson Lubin, because he was their young up-and-coming superstar fighter that they wanted to build up to get that Latino fucking dollar as part of the PBC. Erickson Lubin had his chances and failed in every single opportunity. They didn't expect him to do anything, and they know he's not marketable and a big name, and you can see that this is the case, because if he was, he would be the one getting the fight with Tim Tszyu. So what does this have to do with boxing fans, whether black or non-black? It has to do with the PBC and Al Haymon and the decisions they make. What do you mean? I was hoping Jesus Ramos beat fucking Lubin. No, I assumed he would beat Lubin because Lubin has no chin and Ramos was a hard puncher. But I'm not a Ramos fan. I didn't have a dog in that fight. I could care less fucking either way. Hence, when the fight was over, I didn't have much to say about it, one way or the other. And I didn't have much to say about Jesus Ramos prior to the fight. You pushed Jesus Ramos, talking about how Tim Tszyu's got to fight him and Mendoza and Funduro and got to earn his opportunity to get a Charlo fight. Why? Well, because you were going out of your way to downplay and hate on Tim Tszyu.
Actually, predicting that Jesus Ramos was going to knock out Erickson Lubin.
Everybody was predicting that Jesus Ramos was going to knock out fucking Erickson Lubin. Literally, everybody. This is not a stretch. Black, Latino, Asian, Caucasians, men, women, fucking Americans, non-Americans. Literally everybody was predicting that Jesus Ramos was going to knock out Erickson Lubin.
He didn't give Erickson Lubin any respect at all for beating Jesus Ramos. He actually cried about Jesus Ramos being robbed.
Listen to him, cried. You know, the truth is, I never rated fucking Jesus Ramos. You did. Not me. I'm not the guy who praised him. I praised fucking Charles Conwell, a black American fighter, more than I ever praised fucking him. You never talked about Charles Conwell, a black American. It's funny, right? You're all about black American boxers, yet I don't think you've ever fucking said Charles Conwell's name. I don't even think you know who Charles Conwell is. But I'm supporting Jesus Ramos. Since when? Since when have I supported Jesus Ramos? If I made a prediction, because I'm part of a prediction league, and I picked Ramos to knock out Lubin because that was what everybody else was predicting as well, that was just the obvious pick.
Right. And so, with Tim Tszyu fighting Keith Thurman, it takes away Erickson Lubin's opportunity to fight for a world title. If anything, Erickson Lubin...
It takes away Erickson Lubin's opportunity to fight for a world title. So who should you blame for that? Think about the question you just brought up. The only person who's accountable for not allowing Erickson Lubin the opportunity to face Tim Tszyu for a world title is Al Heyman and the PBC. Yet you won't give them any criticism. You will make this all about race. Yet it has absolutely nothing at all to do with fucking race. And if you are being a real boxing fan, you would hold Al Heyman accountable for fucking over your fighter, Erickson Lubin, to put Keith Thurman in the fight. Because you and I both know it's a garbage ass fight. The difference is I'm being honest and you're being a fucking hating fucking rat troll that you always are. Clearly. Because somehow you turned a fight that no one wanted to see into a race conversation when literally everybody doesn't want to see this fight. No one's supporting it at all. But, you know, what do you expect from John Boxing? The worst YouTuber in America. Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching. If you want to fucking have more comedic relief, go check out John Boxing. Pound for pound, the worst YouTuber in America. Stay tuned for more interesting takes on Donkey of the Day.